Hello friends, welcome to Gardening to the Creekside. I am Jenny and today is a very exciting day because it means that spring is not too far away. Today we are going to be planting tulip bulbs into the big giant aquapots that are here at the nursery, and depending on how the day goes, I may go ahead and plant tulips in other locations as well. It is so exciting. So here we are, going towards the end of February in North Carolina. It is a gorgeous day. It's blue sky. It's a little chilly, hence still have on my winter coat. But this is the perfect time to be planting tulip bulbs for us here in North Carolina. Now, remember, we are in the south. We are a zone 7B. We are hot and humid, especially during the summertime. Our winters they get cold, but they don't stay cold. Hence, this is why we treat our tulips and some other spring flowering bulbs as annuals. For you folks up in cold Michigan or Maine or wherever where you have extended weeks of extreme cold, we don't have that, and that's what tulips need. They need those weeks upon weeks of cold temperatures in the ground so they can store up all that great food, give gorgeous blooms in the spring. What we have to do here is put those spring flowering bulbs in the refrigerator for around 10 weeks or more. So behind me on the Kubota, you can see I've got boxes and I have got bags. I just took them out of the refrigerator. This year we went ahead and got, I think it was like on Black Friday or something, around Thanksgiving, where all the appliances go on sale, and we got one of the cheapest refrigerators we could find, stuck it in the garage, and that is Jenny's bulb refrigerator in the wintertime. Nothing else goes in there, just the bulbs. And so these bulbs have now had a fantastic winter's sleep into the refrigerator in the garage, and now they are ready to be planted. So that is what we are going to do. To give you a little bit of perspective of where we're going to be planting the tulips, we're going to put them in those two large aquapots right there that are in front of the pergola here at the shopping area of the nursery. Right off to the side here is the greenhouse. There we go. And then because the pergola and the aquapots, they're really kind of the first thing you see when you come to the nursery, and I love to pot them up early in the spring with my tulips, because this is my big throw for spring, my big hurrah. And let me just show you inside the aquapot to what it looks like in case this is something new for you. AquaPots, of course, are these gorgeous self-watering containers, and they are unique in the fact that it's a ceramic pot like everybody else, but if you'll notice, there's no hole in the bottom of the aquapot, but it does have that lip on about halfway up the side. And what happens is, right over here, you will see that I have the inner parts right there of the aquapot. I'll show you how to put those together, but basically where that rim is, everything below it will be filled with water, everything above it will be filled with soil. So the plants absolutely love it, they do great, and we're going to get these put together so that we can put our tulips in it. Now, what tulips am I going to be planting today? Well, I am so glad that you asked. Let me tell you. So I've got 3 different kinds of tulips. Every year I will do kind of a different theme. This year it is yellow with a little splash of black. The black I thought would be a really fun addition. This is something I added later on. We have right here the Black Hero. It is a peony type flowering tulip. Average in May, it's about 22 inches. It is black with maroon sheen, full to part sun. So that's gonna be my accent. Then we have 100 of the Tulip Golden Parade, which is a giant Darwin hybrid. Gonna bloom mid-April to May, 24 inches tall, a buttercup yellow, full to part sun. All right, so then here in the boxes, we have another shade of yellow. This is Marie Jo. It is a double early tulip, mid-April, only 14 to 16 inches tall, double yellow, fragrant, full to part sun. So we'll hopefully have a little bit of a staggered bloom time overlapping one another to get maximum flower power. All right, so we're gonna put the aquapot together, and it's really simple, right? You've got 3 pieces. You've got your fill tube, so this is how you're gonna put water in the bottom of your aquapot. Then you have the, oh gosh, what is this called? I don't remember what this is called, the disc, right? And then you have the soil tube. So the soil tube is simply going to screw in to the middle right here. It's threaded, so there's no glue to this, but you do have to hold your mouth just right so that you can get everybody lined up and go in there. So we're gonna get this going. Let's see. Sometimes it's easier to put it on a flat surface so that, here we go, so that you're not working at an angle. This is our, I think, gonna be our 4th spring using these aquapots, and I positively, absolutely love them. They are amazing. In the springtime, you water them maybe once every couple of weeks. In the summer, once a week, and you can load the plants in here. Now, if you hear commotion going on, just ignore it. We're trying to get things organized around here, so we have equipment moving all around the place. So then this is what's gonna sit on that inside rim that I showed you earlier. All right, and then you take your fill tube and you just stick it in the hole. Now, I will recommend, see right now where I have it positioned and the fill tube is off to the side. Well, I don't really want that showing. So what I do is I take the disc and I turn it so that my pipe is in the back. All right, so this is what it looks like, right? So it's just sitting right there. Everything that's below the disc is going to be water. Everything above it is soil. When you're filling up your aquapot for the first time in the season, right, you want to make sure that that potting soil goes down into the fill tube and completely fills it up, because that's where the soil makes contact with the water. Remember, did you see those little slits? Let me show you. All right, so see those little slits in the soil tube? That is, if you have soil all the way down in there, can you see where the light is shining through on the slits? That soil makes contact with the water, and it will create kind of a wicking action where it soaks up the water. So it is really important to pack the soil down into this fill tube. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Y'all know how much I love my Proven Winners potting soil. I have 2 bags that I have recently been using, so I'm going to use that. First, get these half bags out of the way. All right, so there we go. And then I'm going to push it down into the soil tube and really kind of make a fist and just push it down. And then any of the remaining soil just goes on top of that disc. It is the most simple design, yet absolutely genius. Genius. It's one of those things where you go, well, I could have thought of that. I could have done that. But did we? No, we didn't. Jack Barnwell was the one that was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. And he did it and perfected it, and I sure am grateful that he did that. So Jack Barnwell, in case you're like, who's Jack? I think everybody knows Jack, but Jack Barnwell is a great landscaper. He landscapes a lot in Mackinac Island in Michigan. He also has a company in Naples, Florida. So basically in the wintertime, he's in Florida. In the summertime, he is in Michigan, and that is where he perfected the aquapot design. And then Michael Carr is the artist who actually creates the pottery itself. Now, I learned this tip last year, and it was fantastic. If you learn one thing for today and you make containers, this is what I want you to do. I read it in a gardening magazine. I want to say it was Fine Gardening. It's either Fine Gardening or Garden Gate, but I'm pretty sure it's Fine Gardening. They were talking to a horticulturist, and he said, whenever I make my container, I always put compost in the bottom third of my containers, because once the roots hit that compost in mid-season, it's like a shot in the arm of adrenaline for the plants, because it's all that great nutrients. I did it last year to my window boxes and a couple other planters. Oh my word, they were fantastic. So because this is so big, I think I might put, I'm definitely gonna put like a half a bag of the Land and Sea in here. We'll see how much that goes. These pots are huge, and I always tell you to always, you know, refill with brand new soil at the end of the season. Don't reuse soil. You need fresh new soil. Because these tulips are only going to be in here for a short amount of time, just a couple of weeks really, I mean at the most 2 months probably, yeah, like 8 weeks really. The majority of this soil will be the soil that carries me through the summer, because when the tulips are done, I'll just simply pull out the tulips and maybe just that top little bit layer of soil. All this other stuff I will leave in here for my summer planting. So I've got my compost in there, and now I'm going to go ahead and top it off with the rest of the potting soil. Because I'm doing bulbs, it makes it really easy. I'm going to fill it up to where I want to plant the bulbs, and then I'll just plant the bulbs on top, and then we'll put more soil on top with a nice thick layer of mulch. So a little bit more of the Proven Winners. Got my handy dandy blade. If you don't have a nice sharp utensil in your garden toolbox, I would recommend you get one. I always try to, Jerry always has a knife on him. I've just recently started because I'm always like, hey babe, you got your knife? And I'm always taking his knife from him. The only problem is you gotta get it on your belt. There we go, okay. So bless his heart, last time he was at like, I don't know, whatever place he was, he bought me a box cutter. He probably got tired of me stealing it. Bless his heart. Okay, here we go. All right, so we got the potting soil all in there. Next, we're gonna fertilize these babies. Got the bulb tone. We're gonna sprinkle some bulb tone in there. If you don't have bulb tone, but you've got biotone or you've got plant tone, just throw some in there. It'll be fine. But if you know, bulb tone obviously is the preferred tone for when you're putting out new bulbs. All right. Gonna give that a little zhuzh, as I say. Mix it in just the top little layer here. Because I have 3 different colors and types of tulips, I'm gonna do one variety at a time, otherwise I'll forget who is who. So I think it really doesn't matter on who I start with, but let's just go ahead and start with the black. So Black Hero, there are 50 in here, so I have 50. We're gonna put 25 in this aquapot and 25 in that aquapot, and it'll be really simple. When you're looking at your bulbs to know if it's a good bulb or not, first of all, feel it. Give it a squeeze, right? If it gives way, then it's no good. If it's smushy, it is not good. These are nice and firm. Excellent. Now you can see that we've already had some little sprouts coming off of it. It is all good. What you're going to do is you put the flat side down and you put the pointy side up, and we're just going to take it and we're just going to kind of come in here and nestle them like that, and then we'll come back with the potting soil once we're all done and cover everybody up. So what I'm going to do is just get all the bulbs in here. Alrighty, my friends, so I got the tulips planted in aquapot number 1. So I ended up doing, this is my ratio in case you ask. There was 25 of the black, there was 25 of the, let me remember what the name of it is, because I cannot remember. Oh, Golden Parade. How could I forget that? And then I went ahead and did 30 of the Marie Jo. I believe that was because Jenny has 300 of those. So we're gonna have some Marie Jo's everywhere because I have 300 of them. We're gonna have tulips everywhere. It's gonna be glorious. I mean, bright yellow, right? So the first year I did this, I did red. Last year I did shades of purple with some alliums in it. So this year is yellow. Who knows what next year will be, but I'm excited. What I'm gonna do is just get some soil on top and then mulch the top of it, because you know me, I always put mulch on top of my containers. It acts as an insulator, like a little insulation blanket on the plants. They love it. So yeah, so let me show you what they look like. So there they are, all nice and snug in the aquapot. When you're planting tulips like this, you can go just as close as you absolutely want to. No big deal. So now let's get them all tucked in. All right, my dears, so soil's on, packed it down, make sure they're nice and snug in there. Mulch on top makes it look neat, insulates it, comes up nice, pretty green, popping up. It won't get muddy and potting soil all over it when it rains. I'm gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing to the aquapot next to me. So kind of a rinse and repeat cycle that we're gonna go through. And then once they're both potted up, I will try to wrangle a hose over here, water them in, and I'll go ahead and put, fill up the aquapots with water, but I'm not gonna fill it up all the way. You know what, I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna water from the top because we're gonna be getting some more rain, and we're still in February and we can still get some really cold nights. And not that I'm really worried about the aquapot cracking, I don't think it'll do that, but I certainly don't want to fill it halfway full of water and then we get a couple of nights of, you know, 20-degree nights, which it easily could do, because then that could freeze it. Like just the other night, oh, this morning, I think it was 24 out here. So I'm just gonna water from the top, not gonna fill in the whole reservoir of water. Let's get the other one done, lickety split. All right, my friends, just like that, we've got 2 aquapots planted with, let's see, 20, 50, 80 bulbs each. It is going to be an absolutely glorious spring. There is one more aquapot that we're going to do up by the front at the gate. So we're going to go do that one really quick and grab some more potting soil because I used all of it on these 2 bad boys. Gonna go do that one, and then I think there might be, I don't know what else we're gonna get into today, y'all. You know, around here at Creekside, it's a little of this and a little of that. So we'll just, yeah. Whew, haven't had lunch either. Can you tell I'm a little like, so we're gonna finish this aquapot, get those planted, and then we'll move on from there. All right, my friends, so I got my main man Jackson on the camera for me, and we're up here at the gate. We have the companion piece to the other 2 aquapots. So the other aquapots are considered part of the professional line. This is also, that was the large, this is the medium. So what we're gonna do, again, is just that same process. I've got my pieces over here. We actually stored it for the winter and we just turned it upside down and left the pieces in there. So everything looks good. Just gonna put it back in. I like to do the tube on this one just a little bit off center because if I put it straight in the back, then I can't because the fence is in the way. So this will be off center just a wee bit. All is well. Knife, potting soil. Gonna go in. Let's see, just put that down for now. I don't know about y'all, but I am ready for spring. We had a good snow. That was enough for me. Now I'm ready. I'm ready for some nice warm weather and chirpy birds and flowers and all things warm. So again, stuffing that down in there. Gonna add some more potting soil on top before I add my compost. Okay. Let's get that compost is over here. I'm telling you, I want you to try adding compost to your containers on that lower third. It just makes a huge difference in your plants. I think you will notice it. I certainly did this past year, and I will continue to do that and add a little bit more. There we go. And then top it back off with potting soil. Layers, layers, layers. Layers in the garden, layers in the container. Layering is the word of the day. Jackson asked me how much soil did I get. Well, you got to fill it up. It'll make a huge difference. I'm telling you, y'all, if you start with fresh soil in your containers, especially when, like for us, I mean, a long growing season, I will keep this soil in here until November. So yeah, it's worth every penny. It's February. This can easily go for me till November. So we're talking about 8-9 months. Yeah, I don't mind spending a little extra money on my potting soil to be able to use it for 8 to 9 months and get gorgeous results all season long. Now, bulb tone. Now, because I didn't have as many black tulips, they all got used in the containers down there at the nursery. We are only going to use the yellow ones up here. So yellow tulips up here. Give that a little zhuzh. I don't know how you spell zhuzh, but that's what we're doing. All right, so we're gonna do, I think, 30 of each color. 30 or 40, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna fill up the whole container full of bulbs. So that's what we're gonna do now. All right, so I've got both my boys with me. Jackson's behind the camera. Sweet thing right here is beside of me. Jackson and I got these tulips planted. They're gonna be 2 different colors of yellow. They're gonna be spectacular. I do have a watering can in the Kubota, so we'll give her a little zhuzh of water. What are we gonna do now?
What am I gonna do? Or what are you gonna do?
You, me, together. I need to go have lunch first, but what are we gonna do then?
I don't know, I think I'm gonna go down there and mess with that display bed and see if I can move the grass there.
Okay.
Like I did on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll take him for, you wanna bring him along for a ride?
Yeah, and we need to go ahead and look at that spot where we're gonna put that pot.
So we can bring the pot over?
So we can bring the pot over and then maybe determine where we're gonna put the retaining wall.
Yeah, I talked to Andrew about that.
Yeah.
I told him. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. If you don't know what we're talking about, that's okay. Stay tuned, because in 30 seconds, we're gonna show you exactly what we're talking about. I'm gonna get cleaned up, get this watered, go grab a bite to eat, and then I will meet all of you back over there at the nursery. So behind me, you can see the area that we are talking about, where Jerry went ahead and got all of the grass, mostly weeds, pulled out, because we are going to take these 2 areas in front of the greenhouse and turn them into display gardens. The one over here, get my finger right here. This one is, we are working on a very fun special project with Walter's Gardens and Proven Winners. We will tell you more about that. So that's what is going to happen here in this bed. This bed where Jerry is, this is where we get to play, we get to have fun, we get to just, yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. That's all there is to it. The easiest way at this point, this time of the year, to remove the grass is Jerry obviously just took the bobcat and just physically removed the grass. He just went through the top layer and removed the grass, because no matter what kind of like herbicide we were, if you're going to try to spray it right now, the temperatures are not warm enough to kill it. And we need this grass gone, so we had to physically remove it. If you don't have a bobcat, shovel works great to dig it out. Now, you can see, and you just saw, that we brought the large Asian water bowl that is a unique stone piece. Y'all have seen it before if you've been around us for very long, that has been hanging out at the patio since maybe a year now. I can't remember how long we've had it. The idea was that we were going to turn it into a fountain, that we were going to convert the container into a fountain and have a fountain over there by the patio. When we were in Oregon, we stopped by on our way out of town at Laura's parents' garden center, and they had a unique stone fountain. It was the hospitality fountain, I think is what it's called, but it has a pineapple, and I loved it. So we are going to put the hospitality fountain by the patio, and we're going to use the container, the Asian water bowl, as a container. So we're going to have it where Jerry is working right now. He is digging that out because obviously this is on a slope and this container is massive. It is huge. It's 3 feet wide, 3 feet tall, so it's gonna hold a ton. We need it in a nice flat spot. So he is leveling out an area for that container to go. And then more than likely, we're gonna have to build a little mini retaining wall, definitely probably behind it, possibly below it. We'll just have to see, we're gonna play with it. We have block that is left over from our patio project, so we will use that here. And right now I am 99.9% sure that I'm going to plant a little lime standard in that pot and then underplant it with some annuals. But in this bed, we are going to have shrubs, perennials, and annuals. Obviously, this will be a full sun situation, but yes, stay tuned for that because we'll take you along for the ride on all of that. But first, we've got to do kind of the hardscaping and get this container in so that it's nice and secure, because you do not want that thing rolling or moving because it is huge. But that's what we're doing right now. We'll see how it goes for today. Jerry was talking with me and it's getting towards the end of the day and he's like, yep, I'm getting tired. So I have a feeling that this will be all we do today, is just kind of get this leveled out, make sure the pot fits there, and then I think we're going to get Andrew on this project. So we're going to finish this up, get this kind of level, make sure that the bowl fits there, and then probably call it a day. We do have some exciting things arriving today and tomorrow, so of course we will keep you updated and tuned on that. But if there is anything that happens today, I will let you know and we will share that with you. But as always, thank you so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.